I think many of you know that drawing and painting outside is one of my favorite things to do, and that I love color. And so today we are going to do our art outdoors, and we are going to use oil pastels to make a beautiful masterpiece. Since you're going to be doing your art outside, this video is to help you get set up. We are going to gather all of our supplies, make a checklist of what your plan is for outside, and then you're going to gather everything together, turn off your computer, and go for a nature walk. This time, look for objects in nature of every possible color. See if you can find an entire color wheel worth of natural objects. Look for reds, yellows, and blues, your primary colors. Look for oranges, purples, and greens, especially greens. Look for dark and light greens. Not everything in nature is the same green, and even browns. You'll notice that not all browns are the same. Gather these beautiful objects, find a comfortable place to sit, and see which of these inspire you to draw. And then, after you do that, you'll bring it back in, and there's a second video that you will watch to wrap everything up after your adventure outside in nature. For today's outdoor color adventure, we are going to need a couple extra supplies, things you can find easily around the house. First of all, since we're going to be drawing and coloring outdoors, you're going to need some sort of clipboard, binder, folder, some sort of hard surface you can bring with you. This one's a clipboard because it has a clip. If you have two, even better. These could be chip clips, they can be clothespins. Tape also works. 2 pieces of tape is another idea. So you need a board, some way to hold your paper to the board. You're also going to want some sort of lined paper or scratch paper that isn't your art paper. This we're going to write our list of steps on before we go outside, and then use for something else later too. I'm going to make sure I don't lose this, so I'm going to clip it right to my board. So there are some of the supplies that we're going to need. You're also going to want some sort of container for holding all your supplies together when we go outside. This could be a pencil bag or something, but it could also be just a piece of recycling like this that everything fits into. So now on to our normal art supplies. You will want a pencil, a Sharpie, eraser, 2 paper towels, 1, 2, and your oil pastels, and a small drawing paper. So your small drawing paper, 2 paper towels, scrap paper, board and way to hold art 2 board, oil pastels, eraser, Sharpie, and pencil. Go get those right now and meet me back at this video. Once we've organized ourselves indoors, you are going to go outside and look at all the color that you can find in nature wherever you are. This can be around your yard. Perhaps you go on a neighborhood walk with a family member. Whatever works for you and where you are. But see how many different colors of the rainbow you can find. And even more than that, look at how many different types of those colors. Like how many different greens can you find? Light greens, dark greens, minty greens, yellow greens. Find as many as you can, and find things with beautiful color that you might like to draw. Once you've found your really amazing colorful objects, find somewhere outside that you would like to sit and draw. Maybe this location is under a tree, maybe it's on your porch, but try to do this outdoors somewhere that you can relax and hear the birds and feel the breeze. And that is where you're going to bring your art supplies, your pencil, eraser, Sharpie, paper towels, your clipboard, and paper, all of that to that spot. And one more important thing, your checklist. And this checklist we are going to make right now. You'll use your scratch paper or lined paper for making this list. This is your art checklist. Every time I write down a step on the art checklist, you write it down as well. First thing you're going to do is a finger contour. You're going to look closely at the object that you are going to draw. You are going to find those outside edges and those most important lines that make it what it is. We're not doing the whole contour drawing challenge, but we're going to use this piece of it to get your brain turned on. Once you have done your finger contour, you are going to draw large. Draw using your whole paper. Start on the bottom, go all the way to the edges. Don't trace your object. Have your object next to your paper, because remember, we are training our eyes to look closely. Notice the outside edges and the most important lines of your object. If the object you chose was really small, use your eyes like a magnifying glass and draw it larger so that it takes up your whole paper. That will make coloring it more fun. Find all the details that make your object one of a kind. Each flower, each leaf is unique. Show us what you see. 3. Sharpie and erase. Once you have finished drawing, go over it with a Sharpie. And then go over it with your eraser. Number 4, oil pastels. Find all the colors. You will also want your napkins. Find all the colors that are in the object you are going to color. Look for the oranges, the yellows, the greens. Pull out those colors. See how I have the napkin underneath my oil pastels? That's so that none of the pieces get lost, and my other napkin is in case any of the colors need a little bit of a cleaning. I am seeing oranges and purples and blues, and white is always useful for blending. A little bit of red, and I'm noticing a little bit of pink. Really see how many colors are in there. I bet there's more than you thought on your first look. And even if you have something that's just green, there are many greens in there. Use blue and yellow and see if there's any shadows that you could use purple for. Even brown. It's not just brown. Is that color the same as that color or that color? Figure out what colors could be in there. What colors are not just brown. And as you color, blend. Blending is when you use all those colors that you noticed are in your object and putting them on next to each other and overlapping. Make sure that the oil pastels are thick. Make it so that inside your object you can't see through to the paper. If something is light, add white. White is great to put over the top and make the colors come together. Make sure that you use all the colors that you saw in there. Really make your object come to life with these amazing colors, and then finally, we are going to make sure that we include highlights and shadows. Highlights are where you take your white and you put it on where you notice your object is extra light, even if it's on top. And shadows is where you add darker colors. Purple is perfect for this, and I bet your object has a shadow underneath it. Use a little bit of a dark color like a purple to put it underneath, and this part you can even go super light so that you can see the paper through. So, wasn't that amazing to color your object outdoors? And then finally, clean up. Put everything back the way it was. Especially since you are making art outside, make sure that every piece of oil pastel gets picked up. All of your trash and all of your supplies get back in the container or bin and bring it all back inside with you. Did you make a copy of the art checklist as you watched this video? If not, pause this and write these steps now. You'll bring this paper with you outside. Clip it onto your clipboard and bring it with you so that you know the steps for every part of today's project. And when you have finished your artwork, come back in and watch video number 2. Okay, I'll see you then. Go make some amazing